Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. It's Paulie, Esther here, and I just finished recording my video for the leaked content for Chapter 14 DLC from the public test build patch notes, and now I'm going to cover the balance and killer and perk changes that were also included in those patch notes here. And I should note again that just like all of the new content spoilers that were found in the machine code for me by Stabby Myers, this similarly came from there, and it isn't 100% guaranteed accuracy. This is all subject to change. This is just what we think is going to come out in the public test build. It might not necessarily be the case. And we don't know when the public test build is, no matter what you may have heard, until Dead by Daylight actually says PTB is this date. We're just playing a waiting game until they give us confirmation. Doesn't matter what I say or anybody else says about when PTB is coming out. So first we're going to start with these notes about the rank reset. They're going to change the way that the rank resets work. And basically, they're going to make it so that your change in rank isn't as severe when the seasons reset. So it says here, the rank reset will now reset players back one rank crest color. Players who end the season in the red ranks between ranks 1 and 4 will be reset to purple ranks at 5. Purple ranks 5 through 8 will get reset to green ranks at 9. Green ranks 9 through 12 will get reset to yellow ranks at 13. And finally, yellow ranks 13 to 16 will get reset to the brown crest ranks at rank 17. So this is going to make it so that when ranks reset, that the ranks aren't so severely imbalanced with people from red rank getting knocked down to green level 12 and just destroying other players. So then we have some heads-up display changes here. Then it says that the debuff perks are going to no longer appear on the survivor's in-game heads-up display until the debuff is applied. And this is true for the following perks: Colorophobia, Overwhelming Presence, and Unnerving Presence. And they updated several of the killer perks with the Undetectable status effect, Insidious, Beast of Prey, Dark Devotion, and Tinkerer, to make it clear to the killer when they are in the undetectable state. They've changed the way that protection hit tokens are going to be accrued. It says here that for protection hits, the conditions for protection hits have been adjusted. To trigger a protection hit, a survivor must be within range of a survivor in need, which translates to being close to an injured survivor. Players can now trigger protection hits every 3 seconds instead of every 20 seconds, and any hit received by a survivor while the killer is carrying another survivor will always count as a protection hit. So this basically helps make Mettle of Man a little more viable, in that you can count on when you're going to be able to get those protection hit tokens. And remember that they changed Mettle of Man earlier in that you can use it unlimited amount of times, providing that you can get enough of these protection hits. So we have some proposed perk changes here. Balanced Landing will no longer grant the stagger reduction while exhausted, and Balanced Landing has the additional functionality to muffle grunts from falling by 100% while you're not exhausted. So this is a nerf and a buff. The nerf being that you're not getting that stagger protection anymore when you fall from a place if you're exhausted with Balanced Landing, but you won't make any noise when you're falling, whether you're exhausted or not. The Kindred perk says when another survivor is on the hook, you see the aura of all the other survivors and the killer if they're in range. So you may be wondering what this change is. Normally, when you are hooked as a survivor that has Kindred, the other survivors can see the auras of all the survivors on the map and the killer if they're within range of you on the hook. Now, if you have Kindred, if another person is hooked, your Kindred is going to allow you to see the location of all of the other survivors on the map, as well as the killer if they're in range of the hooked person. So this is going to be beneficial to you while you're not on the hook. That's a buff for Kindred. Now, for No One Left Behind, it reads as once an exit gate is opened, gain up to 100% more blood points for healing and unhooking other survivors. And healing and unhooking others are performed up to 50% quicker, and the auras of other survivors are shown. Now, the changes here is in the altruism aspect of this. Before, it was up to only 12% faster for healing and unhooking. This is up to 50% faster. But note the change here that it used to say, or the current version I should say, says once an exit gate is powered. This says once an exit gate is opened, this will kick in. And then you have the added benefit of the auras of other survivors are shown to you. Next, we have two changes to killers proposed here in the patch notes for this public test build for Chapter 14. The spirit ones we've already read about in the developer update. Basically, those are the removal of the collision while the spirit is phasing, changing the prayer beads so that instead of it's totally silent when she's phasing, it's a map-wide noise when she's phasing, as well as giving her a vault animation through the windows that the survivors can see. There's a couple other changes here, but that's basically the main three things for me anyway. For the Legion changes, we start out with the mending times, which are reduced. Mend times for Deep Wound have been reduced. They're 12 seconds while mending yourself, 8 seconds while being mended by someone else. Normally, I'm pretty hesitant to let someone else mend me because I'm afraid that something's going to happen and they're going to get scared. I'm going to drop to the ground, but it is going to be faster, so we'll have to play around with that. And they're changing Feral Frenzy in that attacking while in Feral Frenzy will no longer be a basic attack, and this means that perks that trigger with the basic attack will no longer trigger under this circumstance. Next, they've put some changes in here to the Legion speed. They made them, their Feral Frenzy speed is a little bit faster. Instead of 5 meters per second, it's 5.2 meters per second. And they're going to vault windows and pallets a little faster, reducing those times from 1.1 and 1.35 seconds respectively down to 0.9 seconds to do those vaults. Then they have a list of add-ons that they've changed here. They've tweaked some of these frenzy duration times slightly, very slightly. But the most interesting thing here are all the ones that have status effects. So currently, when you want to apply a status effect to someone, when you're in Feral Frenzy, you have to stab them the first time and give them that deep wound, and then you stab them again to apply the status effect to them. Now what they've done is they've changed it so that once, if I'm playing Legion, I tag the first person with the Feral Frenzy hit, and then I have my Killer Instinct that's showing me the rest of the playing field and where the other players are. If I move off and go to one of them, I just need to hit them once to apply these status effects. I can hit the first person that I wanted to a second time to apply that status effect, but it's probably more beneficial for me as a Legion to go find someone else if I'm really concerned with applying these status effects to other people, using that Killer Instinct and spreading these hits around across all of the players. So here they have the mangled, the blindness, and the broken status effects here, that if I hit that initial person, I go find somebody else, I can hit that second person and instantly give them broken or mangled or blindness. Well, that's all I have for you today. Again, keep in mind that these are all just the rumored patch notes that are going to come out in the public test build. I mean, I have a strong feeling that this is going to be the patch notes, but we don't know for sure. These aren't released by behavior. When the PTB comes out, they'll give us the official patch notes. This may not be 100% accurate, and we don't know when the PTB is. Just stay tuned. It's got to be soon. We've had so many teasers leading up to this. I really have a feeling that it's going to be very soon. I'm looking forward to this Chapter 14. And I'm sure you are too. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care of each other out there in the fog. Unless you're the Legion, and just go around and start tagging everybody with all this broken, and you're going to have a fun game. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.